Hi friends, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you are here. We just stopped here to grab a coffee and a Cinnabon for on the road for a mid-morning coffee break, I guess. And we hadn't had much to eat today at all since we left so early in the morning. Today's video is just a short 25-minute video of us heading out to Rising City, Nebraska. We left really early in the morning because we were supposed to be there by 4 p.m. to get unloaded. However, closer to lunchtime, we found out that we would not be able to unload after all that day. So then once we got to, I believe it was Sioux City, we stopped for a few hours. We just headed into town and found a place to park and went and did a little bit of shopping. And when I say shopping, it was window browsing or window shopping, I guess, because we actually didn't buy a single thing, but it was still fun to waste time, look around, and burn off some energy by walking around. When you're traveling and you're sitting for so many hours, just going and walking around in a store is very refreshing.
Crossing border, entering Iowa.
Now, of course, I know if I wouldn't have been with, my husband would not have stopped anywhere. He would have just gone straight ahead anyway to the place and stayed the night there, parked for the evening. But you know, when the wife is with, he makes it happen, and we parked behind Lowe's. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 food trucks here. But we're going to pass them all and go to Panda's. and it was so delicious. It seems to be our thing to always stop at Panda's on a trip when I go with. And then we went ahead and walked all over the place. First stop right over here was Marshall's. And oh my goodness, they had the most beautiful paintings ever. This one has such beautiful needlework. It was embroidered canvas. I had never seen that before, but it was very pretty. I was so tempted to get it, but no, I did not. And then I always like to check out their stationery. And then we headed out to Target, got ourselves a coffee, of course. They spelt my name with a C instead of a K. What's up with that? Oh my goodness, these plants here were beautiful and the prices were actually not bad. And then I go ahead and always check out the clearance section and of course stationery and books. And then we headed our way to the Fleet Farms, which was quite a walk. I think that was a 15-minute walk. And we just browsed around there as well. And then we walked over to Hobby Lobby, and all their wall decor happened to be 50% off, but I did not get anything. These are kind of cute for in a kitchen. They had a lot of beautiful wall art, but I have kind of made a rule for myself. If I don't have a place in mind for it, where I will put it, I don't buy anything because it ends up just being in the closet because I don't know where to put it. So oh goodness, yeah, and the prices were really good with the half off. This piece, oh my goodness, I kept eyeing that. I went back there several times to look at that last wall art there that I showed you, but I did not end up buying that. And then of course I always go check out their craft sections, as well as the clearance section. You gotta check all that out because you never know what you will find. But I ended up buying actually nothing. Now we are back on the road again and we're gonna head over to, I believe, Columbus, Nebraska, and that's where we are going to spend the night. We're just entering Nebraska here right now. And then in the morning, I believe it's about a half-hour drive from Columbus to our unloading place on a farm. And there she be. That's where we will spend our night tonight. And we're just gonna go ahead and go walk around Walmart for a little while and get some exercise, look around, and then we're gonna go sleep because we have not slept. We only slept 4 hours last night and we drove now for 9.5 hours already. I do enjoy browsing around in the US Walmarts. They have quite a bit more craft supplies than the Canadian Walmarts do. And so I always like to check out and see what they have new. And believe it or not, this paper pack right here that I'm showing you is the only thing I bought on this trip. And I probably will be using maybe some of those papers when I do my gratitude journaling for this trip on my craft channel. And then, of course, I always like to check out all their fabrics. Again, the Canadian Walmarts do not have this. I don't know if they have even any fabrics left in the Canadian Walmarts. I don't know what it is with us out here, but they have very beautiful fabric there. And then, of course, I always have to go to the book section, right? Because you never know what you're going to find there. You know, the US Walmart sells Bibles, King James Bibles, and you will not find that in Canada at a Walmart. So that's pretty cool. And the prices is always very reasonable too. And we have bought in Bibles there before. And here in Canada, you have to, I think, either order them online or we do have like special Bible bookshops, you know, that carry them as well, but definitely not for that price. And then, of course, we always check out their grocery aisles. They often have things that we don't have back in Canada, which is always fun. And then my husband got some jeans. Oh, look at those clouds. It is, they're calling for a severe thunderstorm here in about 20 minutes, so we'll see what will happen. How was your sardines for supper? Yep, that was our supper, sardines. And it has started raining and some thunder, but apparently there's more to come a little bit later. Despite the thunderstorms that we had coming through during that night, we had a very peaceful night with the windows open and the fresh smell of the rain. I just had an absolute wonderful sleep. I think also due to us not really sleeping a whole lot the night before. Good morning. Yes, we are awake. We stopped at a small truck stop to grab some coffee for the go. We had, what did we have? I think we had cooked eggs and a muffin from home for breakfast. Now we are heading out to Sioux City, Nebraska to get unloaded, and it is about a half-hour drive from Columbus where we stayed the night. We would have gone right to our unload place and stayed the night there, but my husband had called there the day before and they had told him that we were not allowed to spend the night there and that the only place that we would find something would be Columbus, Nebraska, so that is why we stayed the night there.
In a quarter of a mile, keep to the left on South 30.
I know, there's a bunch of little islands on there. It is about 10:30 a.m. and it took quite a bit longer there to get unloaded than what we had expected. Well, the unloading part didn't take very long, but we had to scale in first, and their scale was not working due to power outage from the storm last night. And then again, after we were unloaded, we had to scale back out, and they were having so many issues with the scale, so it took quite a bit longer. But you know what? That's okay. We are now on our way. We are heading out to our reload place.
A new place, a new home for a while. Let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back. Take my time, just enjoy the ride.
I remember this.
In a half 50, crossing border, entering South Dakota.
A new man passing by. Life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive. As I reach out to the sky. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. Cause I found my way. My way. Cause I found my way. My way. I found my way. I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day. Cause I found my way.
It is time for another little bit of a rest break here. You know, when you got the lady with, she's got to go a little more often. This is a coffee cup. This is on our way back. There's one on our way out as well as a different one on our way back. One of our favorite places to stop. You can pick up so many different snacks here. They have all sorts to choose from, as well as gifts and whatnot. They have, what do they have? Subway, they have Pizza Hut, they have Cinnabon, they have the Caribou Coffee, as well as you can pick up chicken fingers and little tacos and matzo sticks and all sorts they have here. And we picked up a mocha and a white chocolate marshmallow frappuccino, I believe what they were, for on the road. And oh my goodness, they were so good. there is not much left for me to add to this trip. We are just driving back through South and North Dakota, and then we'll be back in Manitoba. So nothing really that exciting. I know this whole trip wasn't very exciting, but I hope you enjoy coming along. I do appreciate it. And we will see you in our next adventure. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks for watching.